What is up, people? Welcome back to Between Thoughts, the only podcast where we try to solve life and end up questioning it more. Today's topic is dangerous. Not physically dangerous, but more mentally. Because today we are talking about something that sounds inspiring but might actually be ruining your life, and that is legacy. Yeah, that thing that makes 23-year-olds feel like they are already late. So here's a story that I would like to tell you all. I think I missed the moment very recently, and the worst part is I was right there when it happened. I was with friends, nothing big, just one of those evenings. Bad jokes, someone laughing too loud, someone else repeating the same story for the third time, and for a second it felt perfect. And then I had this thought: this would have been such a good moment to have on film. And just like that, I wasn't there anymore. I was outside the moment, looking at it, judging it. And it wasn't even intentional. I didn't choose to leave the moment, it just happened. And that scared me a little because it made me realize something. I'm not just living my life anymore, I'm thinking about how it will be remembered while I'm still living it. You go somewhere nice, and instead of just being there, a small voice shows up and says, this should mean something. Not, this feels good, but this should matter. It's it's like nothing can just exist anymore. Everything needs a purpose, a caption, a takeaway. And I think I know where this comes from. There's this idea from Friedrich Nietzsche. He asks a simple but uncomfortable question. What if you had to live this exact life again? Every single moment exactly the same, but forever. Would you be okay with that? And when I think about that, I don't get scared of pain. I get scared of all the moments I wasn't really in. Because I was too busy thinking, is this good enough? And maybe that's what we are doing now. Not living badly, but living halfway. I I read this book recently, and it's called Into the Wild. This talks about Chris McCandless. I think I'm pronouncing his name wrong, but he's someone who quit everything: job, routine, normal life, started traveling, chasing something more real. And on paper, it looks perfect. It sounds perfect. Just think about it: mountains, silence, freedom, and this wilderness journey. But somewhere along the way, he wrote in his journal that the moments he missed the most were the simplest ones: laughing with people, sharing something small. Not the big story, the ordinary parts. And that stuck with me. Because we are all chasing something that looks meaningful. But we are also losing what actually feels meaningful. And it slowly shows up in small ways. You can't relax properly because it feels like you should do something that matters. You can't enjoy something fully because a part of you is asking, is this enough? And nothing ever is. But maybe, maybe life was never supposed to feel meaningful at the time. Maybe some moments are just light, unimportant, temporary, and yet it feels complete. And maybe the problem isn't that we don't have a legacy, is that we are trying to create one. Because before we have even lived enough to understand what matters. You don't need to build a legacy right now. You don't need to turn your life into something meaningful while you're still figuring out how to live it. You are allowed to be messy. You are allowed to be uncertain. You are allowed to live moments that don't make sense. that are not that impressive, and you are allowed to live moments that don't last forever. Maybe a real legacy isn't something you build, it's something that remains after a life fully lived. So for now, just live. And if something stays behind, let it be a side quest, not the goal. Thank you for tuning in for a small episode of Between Thoughts. Until next time, stay safe, stay curious, and stay between thoughts.